Welcome to the Welding Technology Institute of Australia's Australian Welder Certification Register. The register is cloud-based, which means that it can be accessed by users wherever they have internet access. The register has been constructed to benefit all welding personnel, including welders, supervisors, inspectors, technicians, and engineers. This webinar is the first of a series of webinars, and has all been produced to show the users how to access the register's web-based WeldQ software and therefore unlock access to key features of the register. Future webinars will include taking a tour of WeldQ, how to create a profile, how to create and upload a profile photo, how to apply for qualification, certification, or welder qualification through WeldQ, and training for examiners of welder qualifications applicable to WeldQ. We will now show you the first step in accessing WeldQ and its features by demonstrating how to create a user account.
To create an account within WeldQ, the easiest place to start is from the WTIA's main website. From the main website that you can see here, there are currently two links shown on the screen. The one with the mouse hovering over the top now, and the big one down here. Click on either of these links and a new tab will open up in your browser. Once you're at the Australian Welder Certification Register, before we move to WeldQ, I would just like to draw your attention to some of the features that new users should be made aware of. Firstly, over here on the right, we have a Contact Us tab. If you click on this tab, it opens up a form that you can fill in and seek online help from WTIA staff should you need it. But equally important, there's a Resources tab here, which contains not only manuals, but also other online documentation that you can access for training purposes. As you can see, I've clicked on the tab. This brings up the links that you can see here. I will open up one of these links, this particular one, how to set up a WeldQ account. This actually contains screenshots of the material that's contained within this webinar today. This will download a PDF document which you are able to save or print off. Just closing that. Now if you come back to the home screen and scroll down, you're going to see a red button here. If you click on this red button, it will take you directly to the WeldQ login page. It also is the same page that you use to register for WeldQ if you don't have an account. Let's go to WeldQ. Before we go any further with WeldQ, I'd just like to draw your attention to the fact that at this point in time in WeldQ's development, it only works correctly with two browsers, that is Google Chrome, which I'm using here, or Mozilla's Firefox. If you're using other browsers, it is known that WeldQ does generate errors on these browsers, and as such we would encourage you to use either Firefox or Chrome. From the WeldQ main registration screen, you'll see here on the right that existing users can sign in. I'll explain this a little bit more towards the end of this webinar, but new users just simply create here on this red button on the left which says click here to create an account. This will take you to the registration page shown here. Please enter your details as requested. Select your title from a drop-down list. Now with date of birth, you have two options to enter your date of birth. Simply overtype the information which is shown there in the day, month, year format, which is the simplest way. Or alternatively, on the right, click on the little icon, and this will bring up a calendar tool shown here. To quickly move to the year of birth, just click on the year shown, and then click again, and that will bring up a whole series of years. And you can scroll up and down to the decade of interest. In this case, we're going to go to August in year 2000, so we'll select 2000. This will bring you to the month selector, so just select the month, which is August, and then the 17th of August. That will then fill in the correct date of birth in the format required shown. Next, enter your mobile phone number, preferably if you have one. The reason for the preference for a mobile phone number is that WeldQ has two apps associated with it. One is available from the iPhone App Store and the other is from the Google Play Store. These enable users of WeldQ to view any qualifications and certifications gained directly from their phone. If you don't have a mobile phone, don't worry, just put a contact phone number in, please. We then enter an email address. It is important to note that the email address that you use must be unique to yourself and not be in use by another user within WeldQ. Otherwise, the registration process will generate an error. With putting in your email address, please be aware that if you're using a corporate email server, that corporate email servers occasionally block the registration emails used by WeldQ to set up your account. If this happens, please contact the WTIA staff using the Contact Us form for assistance, and we will endeavour to assist you. We are also aware that sometimes the emails can take up to half an hour or longer to come through to your email account. This is beyond the control, unfortunately, of WeldQ, but just be aware that it does happen. So we'll put in an email address. Lastly, before we register, if you are a member of the WTIA, please indicate this in the remarks box. This will act as a prompt to the WTIA staff to check your membership details so that when you do create your account, you can be listed as a member of the WTIA, and then any program that you do apply for through WeldQ, you'll be able to receive member discounts. Let's just click on the register button and we'll move to the next screen. What will happen is that you will see a message that says that the registration process has been successful, or if there's an error, you will see an error message pop up in red on the screen, and if the registration is successful, you will then receive an email to take you to the next step. Okay, let's register. From this point, after seeing this particular message, we will now move over to the email and see an email that you will be sent to confirm your details. Once you receive this email, it's an indicator that the first stage of the registration process has been successful. Just click on the link shown here, highlighted in blue, and it will take you to the next stage in the process, which will open a tab up on your browser, and you'll be able to enter your password details. From this particular screen, which you'll see pop up on your browser, you now need to enter a password. The important thing to note with the password is it must consist of at least one capital letter, one lowercase letter, and a number. You may also use characters if you wish. I'll create a password. And when you're finished, just click on Confirm. When you see this message here, you have successfully created your account. You can click here on where it says to log in if you wish, or you can go back through the WeldQ process as I explained earlier from the WTIA website or the AWCR website to get back to WeldQ. Once you've successfully created your WeldQ account, you will then receive a further email from WeldQ. This email should be archived. It's an important email because it contains your WeldQ identification, which I've just highlighted here. This particular example is for the John Citizen who's just created this account used in this webinar. JC being his initials, followed by a random number generated by WeldQ. This combination of 8 digits is in fact your official WeldQ identification, which will stay with you whilst you use the WeldQ account system. Please write this number down and archive the email, as you will need it to access WeldQ. From here, to access WeldQ, you can click on the link highlighted here by the mouse, or you can go back through the WTIA website and AWCR, clicking on the links shown earlier, and that will take you to the login page. Once you've successfully created your WeldQ account and you've navigated your way through to the login screen again, enter your WeldQ identification here and your password. Click on Sign In and you'll come into WeldQ. Please note this particular message here shown on your screen. It's a reminder to you before you can access the features of WeldQ that you need to create a profile. We will show you how to do this in a future webinar. To get out of WeldQ, just simply close the notice and then either use the arrow tab here to sign out or just simply close your browser. Thank you for creating a WeldQ account.
Thank you for watching this webinar. Should you need further guidance on creating a WeldQ account, the WTIA has produced a training presentation containing screenshots of the information presented in this webinar. The presentation can be accessed via the Resources tab found on the AWCR website. Should you need additional assistance, please use the Contact Us form located on the Contact Us tab on the AWCR website. Thank you for watching.